In this case, we have a 71-year-old female who's presenting for a screening mammogram. We're showing just images of the right breast currently. And if we look at these SM views in the CC view, lateral aspect, right here, we can see this area that looks like it's potentially an architectural distortion, right? See some spiculated lines, central component here, more spiculated lines, sort of that pulled in type of appearance. And we see here, we expect this to be in the lateral aspect of the breast, approximately middle depth. If we look over at the MLO view, we don't necessarily see anything corresponding to that area of architectural distortion, even though we might expect with something this large that we'd be able to see it in the MLO projection as well. So let's look through the DBT slices to try to help us localize this area of distortion. So we'll start at the inferior breast and start to scroll through. We're focusing our attention right here. As we scroll through, we can see a couple lines here that look almost, pretty normal, right? They're elongated, they have sort of a rounded border to them. And as we keep scrolling through, we get to here, see something kind of similar, some more fat, but nothing ever actually really resolves as a particular area of distortion. So we might switch back here to our SM view again, just to make sure we're looking in the right area. I think we are. We scroll through there one more time, looking for that distortion. I'd say, well, that's sort of curious. I wonder what happened there. Let's look through our MLO view to see if we can see anything. I'd be looking up at this area here, maybe something down here in the middle of the breast. But as we scroll through, we really don't see anything that looks abnormal. This is a finding that I like to call pseudo-distortion. It looks like a distortion on the SM view, but when you scroll through the DBT stack, you really don't see anything that qualifies as a full normal distortion. And the reason this happens is we have overlapping tissue, which gives the appearance of kind of linear lines radiating from a point. But when we scroll through, we see that those lines are in actually different portions of the breast. So here, we might see some lines more inferiorly, these ones. And as we scroll superiorly, you might get different lines going in different directions. But when you lay them all together, it looks like a true distortion. So the reason this happens is that some of those reconstruction algorithms developed by the companies that make mammogram machines have, as part of the algorithm, they try to sort of make it overlapping structures look like distortion in hopes that it be more readily identified true distortions. But occasionally you do get to the appearance where it's a pseudo distortion, not real, don't need to call the patient back for any further evaluation. If I pull up a prior exam just for comparison, we can see the SM view doesn't have that same sort of appearance. And if we scroll through that same sort of location, you can see some of those different lines that we saw previously, which we believe led to the appearance of a pseudo distortion. So when we compare the DBT stacks between the two, it looks very much the same, very much normal and unchanged. And this is a benign exam. No need for any further evaluation. She can return to routine screening.